Hi guys. So my name is Ahmad Malik. I am the squad lead for integration and analytics at Adasight. And in this video, we are going to be talking about event properties and user properties, how we can use each of them, and what are the main differences between both of these. So when it comes to tracking data within Amplitude, um, we have events, but then we also have ability to collect metadata with the events. That metadata is called an event property. So if we take a look at an example of a subscription purchased event, whenever this event is triggered, we know that a subscription has been purchased. However, we do not have any additional data about this subscription if we don't track the additional metadata as event properties. So, in this example, we can see that we have several event properties that we are tracking with this subscription purchase event. The first one is the plan type, the second one is the subscription type, and then we have the subscription amount and the payment method. So, what these event properties do is that they give us a lot more detail into the types of subscriptions that are being purchased. And how does this translate into reporting? So, for example, if we want to see what are the most popular plan types, we can use this property to see if essential is the most popular plan, or is advanced the most popular plan, or is enterprise the most popular plan. Similarly, we can use the subscription type property to see whether users are opting more for the monthly subscription or for the annual subscription. The subscription amount property can not only help us in identifying the most popular type of subscription amount, but it can also help us track the revenue that our business is generating, and it can also help us in calculating the further derived metrics such as average revenue per user, customer lifetime value, etc. And then for payment method, we can also identify what are the most popular payment methods that our user prefer to use. And this is specifically very important for businesses where we have multiple types of payment methods. So this again is a very good overview of how we can use um, event properties to get more data or more metadata for any specific event, which can be used for reporting. Another example of using event properties is for tracking generic navigation events. So, for example, we have a lot of button clicks on our website, and if we start tracking each of the button clicks with a different event name, then the total number of events that we end up having is a lot, and it is very difficult to manage all of these events. Plus, if we are constantly updating our website or our product, and obviously there are going to be new buttons that we are going to be introducing, then that creates another problem because every time we introduce a new button, we need to have a new event for this. And to solve this problem, we can use event properties. So the way this works is that we can create a simple event name, which would be a button clicked event name. And in event property, we have properties such as the button label, which is basically the text on the button, the URL on which the button is present. So this tells us which specific page the button is located on and the location of the button within that URL. So whether it's on the header, the footer, hero, or any other section of the page. So again, here we are using event properties in a slightly different way, where we are consolidating a lot of our tracking within a single event, and then we are using event properties to dive deeper and to identify that specific event. So this is how you use event properties. Now let's move on to user properties. So user properties are slightly different from event properties. Just like we discussed that event properties are specifically tied to any event, whereas user properties would be specifically tied to a user. So if we look at some examples of user properties, we can see that we have some default properties that Amplitude captures right out of the box, which is like the country, city, DMA, region, language, platform, OS, etc. And then we can have some custom user properties that we can track for the user. So and this is basically again used for reporting purposes. So if let's say we want to identify a user as a trial user, and we want to see what the behavior of a user is when they are on a trial, we can identify them with a property called is trial user, and then we can set the property value as yes if the user is on trial. If the user is on a premium license, then we can create a user property called is premium user, and then we can set the sample value as yes. So the way this works in Amplitude reporting is that we can look at different events, and we can um, group users into two separate cohorts based on their user property, and see how they are performing and compare their behavior. So, if we want to compare the behavior of trial users versus premium users, we can use these two properties to create two different cohorts and of users, and then see and compare their behavior across different events. Similarly, we can have a user property for license type, and this could be the type of license that the user has purchased. Now over here you can see that this is a property which is being used both as a user property and as an event property in the previous example that we saw for the subscription purchase event. But here we are using it as a user property, not as an event property. So the reason over here is that we want to track the behavior of the users based on the license that they have across all other events as well. Event property only helps you look at or break up that specific event based on the property, but user properties also help you to look at other events as well. So for example, if we have a download report functionality, and we want to see what is the license type which uses it more, do users on the basic license use the download report functionality more versus the users on plus license, we can use this functionality to do that. So yeah, this was a very quick overview of how we can use user properties and event properties to identify different patterns in user behavior, and to help us collect more data about the users interactions, while also making sure that our event taxonomy is clean and we don't have a lot of events that are populating our Amplitude data, which makes reporting difficult for everyone. So yeah, see you guys in other videos.